Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Sarah Shepard. I'm the Employer Relationship Manager at Mercy, and my goal is to introduce you to employers who are hiring and teach you about new jobs that you can apply for. And today we have Corey from Uncommon Schools to talk to you about his opening. So Corey, I'll give it to you.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. It's a personal mission of mine to connect with students who are all around the NYC area because I believe that like the more folks we can hire who are familiar with the area, the better, right? Like we want folks who not only know our students, but have potentially been our students or been our known folks or have friendships with folks who are like our students, right? So that's really important to me as a recruiter. So I'm very excited to chat with you all today. In terms of what this is going to look like, I want to start with introductions. I would love to just get to know you a little bit. That way I can potentially, because there's only a few of us here, I can tailor some information during the presentation based off of some of your interests or experiences. And then I'll just give you a quick, say like 15-minute presentation on Uncommon, what we have to offer, what it's like to teach at Uncommon, benefits, all of that, pathways to future career success that start at Uncommon, which is really exciting. One of the reasons why I chose Uncommon Schools as a home for me. And then definitely we'll have tons of time for questions at the end, whether you want to talk about a career in education in general, whether you want to ask questions about Uncommon, about transitioning from the classroom into other positions within education, as that's something I've done. Happy to answer any and all those questions. But like I'd mentioned, I would love to start with introductions. So if you feel comfortable coming off mute, I would love to hear your voice in that. But if not, you feel welcome to throw it in the chat. I'd love to know just your name, pronouns, your year, and then what in education is exciting to you, right? Like, are you excited at the prospect of working with 5-year-olds, right? Or are you excited about the prospect of working in teaching literature, whatever that may be? What about a career in education is exciting to you? So that your grade, your name, and your pronouns.
And Corey,
I'll start.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna pause the recording. Just
Yeah.
let me know when you're gonna do that 15-minute overview, because we don't need to have like all the other stuff recorded.
Great, for sure.
Awesome.
So let me share my screen with you all. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about Uncommon Schools and what we're all about. So to start, like, who are we? Broadly, we're a network of 55 high-performing public charter schools. So what we do is we start and manage schools. We did not start as one network, right? We started as a bunch of individual public charter schools that decided to come together and have that collective organization. And then from there, we have expanded and moved to other regions as well. So we do currently operate in 6 different cities across 3 states. So we have a few schools down in Camden, which is right outside Philly. The majority of our folks who actually work in Camden live in Philadelphia. It's about a 10-minute drive over the bridge. We have a good number of schools in Newark as well. This is where we started our schools. Our first schools were in Newark. As you know, we've got schools right here in New York City. This is our largest region. We've got 24 schools actually in New York. A few schools in Boston, some schools in Rochester, and some schools in Troy. In case folks are interested in potentially moving to smaller cities, we do have employment opportunities in those cities as well. In terms of the students that we serve, these 2 pie charts just give us like a quick breakdown in terms of SES or socioeconomic status, and then our ethnicity breakdown as well. So the vast majority of our students do identify as socioeconomically disadvantaged, and an even larger majority identify as students of color. So diversity, equity, and inclusion is not just something that we're adding on to what we are as an organization. Like, it is core to what we do as an organization. We're a mission-driven organization, and serving those who are economically disadvantaged and ethnic minorities is a big part of that mission for us. Beyond our students, we also have a very diverse faculty base, faculty and staff base. So 61% of our staff do identify as people of color, with the majority of all of our school leaders actually being folks of color and women of color. So the largest demographic in terms of our principals are actually Black women, which we are really proud of here at Uncommon. There's a nice segue into the other ways in which we are trying to empower folks, right? And so one way that we know we can empower our students is by having a diverse set of teachers in the classroom for them, right? Because we believe you cannot be who you cannot see, right? So we want our students to see themselves in the front of the classroom, see themselves as intellectual and academic authorities, so that they themselves know that they can be academic and intellectual authorities themselves. One way that we start to kind of build up that empowerment is hosting events that expand beyond our individual schools and allow our students to connect with each other. So 2 years ago, we hosted a summit called Girl Rising, which was really awesome. We offered it to all of our girls throughout Brooklyn, whether they be middle school or high school. And it was a really awesome 2-day event, like summit, where they got to come together. There was keynote speakers. They got to have lots of different sessions that helped them kind of find their power, find their voice, and come together collectively to create, to start networking, right? To start networking as young women of color in Brooklyn and finding collective power. And that's something that we facilitated as an organization, and we look to do similar programming in the future as well. We also encourage our students and our faculty to dive into the tough issues that we're experiencing as a society as well. So a few years ago, we sent folks to the March for Our Lives down in DC. We also, this past year, we actually, as an organization, hosted our own solidarity march for the Asian American community in response to the uptick in violence that was happening at the beginning of this year and continues to this day. So here at Uncommon, we're not afraid to engage with social issues, and we actually make that a part of what we do on a daily basis, and we're actually very proud of that. But all of this for a reason, right? Like, everything that we do is really about getting the most out of our students and allowing our students to succeed. And our methods have clearly proven to be successful, as we have seen really great rates of college matriculation and graduation as well. So nearly all of Uncommon seniors are accepted to a 4-year college. So that would be 96% of the class of 2019 was accepted to a 4-year college. And we have a 99% graduation rate across all of our schools. So that's 55 schools across 55 schools having a 99% graduation rate, which shows that, like, we clearly are doing something right here. One of the main ways that we facilitate student success is making sure that our faculty and staff are successful themselves, right? We know that the best way to invest in students is actually to invest in teachers. And so professional development is at the core of what we do. So this slide right here just kind of gives you a breakdown of all of the different kind of spheres that we use to help develop our staff, particularly our instructional staff. So we have a dual leadership model. What that means is that we have, where most schools have one principal who is kind of in charge of all of the academics and also all of the operational things that are happening at a school. At our schools, we have a dual leadership model, so that all of our schools have a director of operations and a school principal that have the same amount of power and collaborate to run the school. That allows our principal to focus very much on academics and even be directly giving feedback to our teachers on a regular basis. It's not common that you can have a school principal being the person giving direct feedback to teachers, but that's something that's very common in our schools because of our dual leadership model. We also offer 3 weeks of summer professional development for folks. So our teachers go back 3 weeks before our students even get into the classroom, so that we can make sure that they are fully prepared for when students show up on day one. Also, our culture of feedback facilitates a lot of growth. We make sure there's a lot of collaboration between teachers. Everybody gets a mentor teacher, no matter how experienced you are. You have a mentor teacher, because there's always more you can learn. There's always more that you can learn from your peers, and so we really push collaboration between our teachers, and they seem to really enjoy working at our schools because of that. And then lastly, we actually have weekly professional development. So our students have half days on Thursday, but our teachers then spend the second half of their half days are on Friday. My fault. The half days are on Friday, and they spend the second part of their Fridays actually getting tailored professional development, whether that be data analysis, or just learning new skills, or just having time to sit down and collaborate as a team. We have time every single week to help our teachers push their practice. I do want to show you a quick video, if this will let me. 1 second. All right, it's taking me to an external site. So, oh, there we go. Quick question. Are you able to hear that? Is the audio
Yes.
working?
Mhm.
Great.
Now we can't. We could before.
All right, let me just fix that real quick. Thank you.
Take your time, no worries.
Through college is something that is so important. I've taught in multiple schools before and never felt this level of support from myself or for the students.
The people here are incredible. Every day when I come to school, I think about how grateful I am to have the teammates that I do.
I love my team. I love the people that I work with day in and day out.
What's special about Uncommon is that leaders see potential in all of their teachers and they push them accordingly. So it's just been really cool to become an instructional leader, grade team leader, and now a principal fellow.
That is one of the things that makes me so excited about working here, is that I can see my growth.
Mission is everything. The hard work and dedication, you just feel it. You feel it throughout the building.
I couldn't imagine teaching anywhere else, honestly. This is the place that I love to be. It's when we say community, we mean it. When we say love for the students, we mean it. Love for each other, it's there.
I see kids who may have come to us mid-year, maybe struggling in another school, and then I see them 2 months later, or I see the progress that they're making in the day-to-day, and it's inspirational.
Working here as a teacher has been the most influential move and step of my life. If you're looking to become a better teacher, this is the place that you can do that, hands down.
With Uncommon support, I can absolutely say that I'm becoming the best teacher I can be, and I can't wait for the next few years.
Yeah, so that was just a little video that kind of shows what it's like to even teach in our schools. But something that I just wanted to pull out is that you probably heard consistently folks talking about their own growth and development. And that is because that is truly something that we care about here at Uncommon, and something that we're very good at. We get brought into other schools, other charters, and even the Department of Education to help train their teachers as well, because our professional development has proven so strong. And we've been able to take rookie teachers to become expert teachers and then principals in a matter of a few years because of our professional development. And it's honestly one of the reasons why I chose to be a part of Uncommon too. Just checking now that we're out of the video that you can see the learn and grow with Uncommon slot. Great. These are some examples of, after being a teacher, how can you grow in your career, right? So it's not just an end all be all when it comes to being a teacher at Uncommon. You can, from becoming a teacher, you can also become a grade team leader, right? Which can lead to being a dean of students, dean of curriculum instruction, fellow, or then the actual dean of curriculum instruction, we have principal and principal fellow positions as well. In a few slides, I'll show you how it is you can kind of move through that. But this is really just to highlight that there are lots of growth opportunities at Uncommon. And so if you're somebody who sees yourself as not just a potential future teacher, but a potential future school leader, Uncommon is the place for you. So these are all of the positions. I'd mentioned at the beginning that we had positions across the board. These are all the kind of like the 3 types of positions that we have open at the moment. So we have all of our teaching positions, right? These are going to be your basic teaching positions, the ones that you grew up with, the ones that you saw in school, and the ones that you get taught about, right? So we got our classroom teachers, our special education teachers, elective teachers, and then our apprentice teachers. Something that's cool about our apprentice teachers is that we typically fill those roles with folks who are not quite ready to take on their own classroom and be in control of their own classroom, but know that they want to one day, whether that be in 6 months or in a year, and they want that hands-on experience before they step into owning a class by themselves. So that's what our apprentice teacher position is. It's essentially kind of like a teacher's assistant. However, you get paid just like a teacher. You get all of the benefits and all of that. It's just kind of a first-year teacher and takes the pressure off of owning your own classroom and knowing everything right away. So it's a really awesome position for folks who want to start teaching out of undergrad, but don't quite feel prepared to go in and own the classroom without any formal teaching experience. We also have our school operations roles. We have a lot fewer of these roles in every school, so there's a lot fewer roles that we're hiring for right now. But I can say that we are actively looking for a special projects associate. Essentially, these roles are what facilitate all of the non-academic work in our schools, right? So these are the folks who are making sure that attendance is being taken, communications are being made with families and students. They help facilitate like the upkeep of our facilities themselves. They help bring in speakers to our schools, run after school programs, all of that extracurricular, all of the things that happen outside of the classroom is facilitated through our operations roles, and our office manager and special projects associate play big roles in that. The other thing that I had mentioned earlier was our home office roles. So whether that be in data and IT, finance, accounting, marketing, talent recruitment, which is what I do, school management, instructional support, project management, all of those things that facilitate us running 55 schools and serving 22,000 students, all of the work that has to go in behind the scenes, we have positions open in all of those departments as well. In terms of benefits, we do offer really great benefits. So full medical, dental, and vision. Folks who are interested in getting their master's in education, we actually supplement a lot of that tuition as well. Folks who are interested in getting their master's just in a general education subject, we will actually cover 75% of tuition. And then for folks who are looking to get their master's in special education, we would actually cover 100% of tuition for anybody who is in that situation as well. So really great thing to take advantage of. Our salaries are competitive. We pay above what the Department of Education pays. And then again, we do help with all state certification support as well. In terms of what we're looking for in candidates, that first bullet point is the most important. This is something else that you probably would have picked up from the video, is that we are a mission-driven organization. Like, it is all about mission for us. As I've laid out, we have the professional development in place to help you get to where you need to get in terms of the hard skills, right? In terms of like what it means to be a teacher, what it means to be a strong IT person, all of that, we have the professional development to help you get there. The thing that we can't teach you is how to care about our students, right? We can't teach you how to care about our mission. And so that's that's the main thing we're looking for as we're looking at applications. We've got one question, and that's what we go to first when we're reviewing an application. What is their mission and how does it align to our mission? Because everything we do at Uncommon is about our mission. So being mission driven is something that is really, really important to us. This is a cool kind of example of how you can move through your career at Uncommon. So Quinn started in our summer teaching fellowship, which we offer to rising seniors that apply at the beginning of their junior year to take part in like a summer teaching program where it's a paid internship. So he got his start at Uncommon as a summer teaching fellow, and then started to work for our summer teaching fellowship, became a teacher. After becoming a teacher, he actually moved into our home office, and so actually held a position similar to my position, but then decided he wanted to go back into the classroom, which is an example of how there's a lot of career flexibility at Uncommon as well. Just once you're in the classroom doesn't mean you're stuck in the classroom. You can move outside of the classroom as well. And if you decide to move outside the classroom, you can easily move back in, as Quinn did, because he moved back. He became a fifth grade teacher then. He then became a school leader, and then eventually became a school principal. And all of this was in a matter of, I think Quinn got here in about 6 or 7 years. So as you can see, you can go from having virtually no experience to being a school principal. And then Quinn ended up being one of our most successful school principals too, with the results that his students were producing were well above the state average. And he was able to do that in a matter of 7 years. And so this is where we kind of land. We've got an Instagram account, we've got our regular website, we've got a Twitter account, we've got a Facebook account. Encourage you to check us out there. You'll find lots of supplemental material, whether they be flyers or videos and all of that. But just as a better way to kind of get to know Uncommon and what we're all about. You can apply through our website. And also you'll see there at the bottom, you'll see my email. Feel free to take that down. I support candidates at the very beginning of any stage of their application process. So whether you have already applied and you're curious about like what's going on with your application, or you're thinking about applying but you have a lot of questions, I'd be the person to go to. So I left my email right there. I encourage you to take it down, and you can email me at any time. But we still do have plenty of time, so I want to make sure that we leave space for questions. Oh, thank you, Sarah. So I want to make sure we leave space for questions as well. And again, I think we had some folks join a little bit late. So I had mentioned at the beginning that if you have questions regarding Uncommon, obviously all of those are welcome. But even if you just have questions about a career in education, as I have worked for multiple educational institutions in New York, I've had several different roles, both as a teacher and now as a recruiter. So whether you just want to get to know what it is to be in education in New York, I'm happy to talk about that as well. But yeah, the time is kind of yours now, and I want to make sure that everybody who has a question gets a chance to ask a question. So whether you want to come off mute, go in the chat, I'm happy to just talk.
Thank you, Corey. I'm going to stop the recording too,
Yeah,
so we don't have
great.
to